My name is Torrance Rin McCall. I'm 27, and in a family like mine, a polished Southern clan from Marietta, Georgia, with money, reputation, and a perfect golden son, I've always been the misplaced piece in a puzzle that didn't need me. While my brother Cashin was handed a 5-bedroom house as a congratulations for existing gift, I was handed a cardboard box of my late grandfather's belongings, like a reminder of where I stood. I've spent most of my life pretending it didn't bother me, swallowing the bitterness whole, telling myself I didn't care that I was the ghost of the family. But last week, when I slid my grandfather's old debit card into an ATM just to see if the damn thing still worked, something happened, something that made every lie, every secret, every buried truth in my family crack open at once. And that was the moment I realized my family hadn't just overlooked me. They had set me up for a war I never asked to fight. I stood under the flickering ATM light at 10:32 p.m., sweat running down my back even though the night was cool. The old debit card had a faded strip and Elias's initials carved in ink near the bottom. EM, like he wanted to make sure someone would remember who the card belonged to. I didn't expect it to work. Not really. But the machine beeped, churned. Balance. $1,200,000,000. My breath stopped. No commas. No decimals missing. 12 zeros. 1.2 billion. Then the screen glitched. Flashed. Account frozen. Security alert triggered. Do not remove card. My fingers froze on the keypad. The fluorescent light above the ATM started humming. The camera above the screen adjusted, clicked. Watching. Across the street, a black SUV idled with its lights off. I backed away. Another flash. The machine went dark. Then the whisper. Not from outside. From the ATM speaker itself. You shouldn't have done that. I jerked my head around. Empty sidewalk. No footsteps. Just that whisper still echoing in my head. I pulled the card out. Cold plastic in a hot hand. My phone buzzed. Unknown sender. Don't run. They'll find you faster. A second message came in right after. Leave the card. Walk away. Last chance. I dropped the phone. Not by accident. Ran. I didn't stop until I got 3 blocks away, ducking into the alley behind the Vietnamese bakery where I used to work. My chest heaved. My knees buckled. My hand still clutched the card. Couldn't let it go. I turned it over. Same initials. Same damn card. Who the hell puts $1 billion in a forgotten account? Who the hell leaves the key in a box of war medals and rusted cufflinks? Back at the apartment, the hallway was too quiet. Elevator mirror cracked. No footsteps behind me. But I swore I heard one echo too many. Inside, I double-locked the door, killed the lights, sat at the kitchen table. The card lay in front of me like a live grenade. I reached for the whiskey, took 2 sips. My hand wouldn't stop shaking. Money doesn't change you. It reveals who's been hiding in plain sight. Elias used to say that. I thought it was just another cryptic old man rant. Now, I wasn't sure he ever said anything lightly. The card buzzed, vibrated. I flinched. Not possible. It buzzed again. The screen flickered on, just for a second. A line of green code. Then it went blank. That night, I didn't sleep. I watched the door. I checked every window twice. Someone was coming. I didn't know who, but I could feel it, tight behind my ribs. 3:17 a.m. My phone lit up again. Unknown number. If you access the account, they already know. My eyes locked on the card. And that's when I knew. It's not just a card. It's a key, and someone's coming for it. The lobby smelled like glass cleaner and cold money. 2 men in suits watched me from the 2nd floor balcony as I stepped through the doors. No smiles. No welcome. Just eyes. Still. Unblinking. I shouldn't have come. But I had to know. The card burned in my pocket like it knew something I didn't. Mr. McCall? The voice cut through the silence like a scalpel. The woman who appeared was too polished for a local branch. Cream blazer, pearl earrings, hair like a courtroom sketch. Dahlia Royce, she said. Please, come with me. No small talk. No clipboard. She led me through a side door, past a hallway, into a glass-walled conference room with a single chair. One chair, he said. The room locked with a soft click. She slid the card into her terminal, paused, typed something. Her lips parted slightly, just for a breath. And then her hand stopped, frozen midair. She stared at the screen like it had just whispered a threat. I leaned forward. What's the problem? She didn't look at me, just pressed a single key. The door behind us locked. My skin went cold. I need you to remain here for a moment, she said, standing. Please don't touch anything. She walked out. The glass walls didn't feel transparent anymore. They felt like glass in a zoo. I stood, paced. Saturday. 2 minutes passed. Then 5. Then a sound, soft like leather shifting. A man entered. Black tie. Black gloves. No name badge. He didn't sit. Just stood behind the chair. You accessed a legacy account. I kept my voice level. It was my grandfather's. No such account exists in our public system. He leaned forward. I saw the edge of a wire in his collar. Not bank security. Something else. You didn't just trigger a freeze, he said. You flagged a blacklist buried under 7 firewalls. What does that mean? It means someone thought this money would never be touched. And if it was, it meant something went wrong. Wrong. I laughed. Once. If you want the card, I said, take it. We don't want the card. We want what your grandfather left behind. I reached for my phone. Gone. It was sitting on the table. Screen wiped. Case removed. We need to ask you to stay until further notice. My jaw clenched. I stood. The man didn't stop me. But when I reached for the door, the lights cut out. Emergency backup hummed on. Red strobes. The soft whump of magnetic locks disengaging. I bolted. Out the hallway. Down the back corridor. Through a fire exit that shouldn't have been open, but was. Outside, the daylight slapped me. I didn't run far. A block away, under the shadow of a crumbling billboard, someone grabbed my sleeve. I almost swung. Don't, she said. The woman wore a hoodie. Jeans. A face I didn't know. She slipped something into my pocket. A folded slip of paper. Pinecrest Cemetery. Midnight. Come alone. Then she was gone. A bus roared past. She vanished behind it. I pulled the paper out. One word was scrawled on the back. Elias. The wind kicked up. Dust in my teeth. Truth isn't dangerous, but the people who hide it are. Elias said that once. Drunk on his back porch, the night Cashin got his first car. I didn't understand it then. I did now. That night, I sat on my couch with every light off. The apartment creaked. A hum behind the fridge, like someone breathing. I didn't sleep. At 2:14 a.m., my email pinged. An anonymous sender. Subject, account history. Attachment, locked zip. Password, no one remembers the ghost. I stared at those words like they'd been cut from my own mouth. Inside the file, nothing I understood. Just lines of transactions. Offshore. Numbers. Routing codes. But the name at the top wasn't Elias. It was mine. Torrance McCall. Proxy. I dropped the laptop. No one in my family ever gave me anything. But they gave me this. She didn't flinch at the amount. She flinched at the name. Pinecrest Cemetery sat on a forgotten hill just outside Marietta, where the roads turned to gravel and the streetlights quit trying. The air smelled like pine needles and old soil. Fog clung low. Every crunch of my boots felt like a shot fired. Midnight sharp. The gates weren't locked. Gravestones glinted under a pale half-moon. Rows of silence. My breath showed in the cold. I clutched the note tighter. Somewhere an owl screamed. Then I saw her. Hood up. Arms crossed. leaning against my grandfather's headstone like she owned it. You came alone, she said. I don't have many options. She straightened. You have no idea what you've opened, do you? Start explaining. She pulled back the hood. Late 30s. Tight jaw. Skin pale from stress or secrets. Her eyes scanned everything behind me before locking on mine. Elias McCall didn't die from a stroke. He died hiding something they were willing to kill for. I stepped closer. Who's they? She handed me a flash drive. Federal Ghost Fund. Elias used to manage off-the-books payouts. Witness silencing. Blackmail burnouts. You name it. 1.2 billion unspent dollars don't go unnoticed. I stared at the headstone. The chiseled words. Beloved father. Loyal patriot. And the card. Fail-safe key. Not for spending. For waking the system. You triggered every buried alert. How do you know him? She hesitated. I worked with him. Not officially. He trusted me. Trust gets people killed. She nodded. That's why you need to leave. Tonight. Not until I know what he died protecting. She tossed me a manila envelope. Inside, GPS coordinates, a list of names, and one blood-stained sticky note. Handwritten in Elias's angular script. If they freeze it, it's already too late. A twig snapped to our left. Her head turned fast. Run. 2 beams of light swept across the cemetery. She shoved me down behind the next row of stones just as silenced gunfire cracked. Dirt sprayed up behind me. She pulled a Glock. Returned fire. The gravestone next to me shattered. I ran, twisting through marble markers. One of the gunmen was fast. Tactical gear. Silent boots. He reached out. She tackled him. Screamed. The shot went wild. Her arm bled instantly. I didn't stop. Down the hill. Through the fence. Into the woods. I ran blind. Branches ripped my shirt. Blood in my mouth. Phone gone. Drive still in my hand. If a door creaks open, someone's already holding the knob. Elias again. Said it when I was 12. It didn't make sense until now. I collapsed near the drainage ditch off Route 9. Heart slamming against my ribs. Behind me, nothing. Then a click. Laser dot on my shoulder. Don't move. A new voice. Different angle. Closer. I turned slowly. Another man. Not tactical. Civilian clothes. No badge. He lowered the weapon. You're not supposed to be here yet, he said. They moved early. I didn't recognize him. He looked like someone's dad. Who are you? He didn't answer. Just nodded at the flash drive. She got it to you? I nodded. Then there's no time. He handed me a prepaid burner phone. Call this number in 2 hours. Not before. Don't go home. Don't talk to anyone. And for God's sake, don't try to log in again. He walked away. Didn't look back. I sat there, soaked, heart still racing, and realized the file wasn't encrypted to protect it from outsiders. It was encrypted to keep me from opening it. By 3:06 a.m., I was huddled in a Greyhound bathroom stall, fluorescent light flickering above my head like it was trying to whisper something. The flash drive was still in my jacket pocket, warm from the friction of running and panic. I hadn't looked at it again. Didn't need to. Whatever was on it had already killed people. Elias, the woman at the cemetery, maybe. You don't hide the truth unless it's worth more than your life, he used to say. And if someone hid it this well, they weren't protecting it. They were weaponizing it. I washed my face in cold water. The mirror cracked from a fist someone threw long before me. A single red dot blinked in the ceiling corner. Cameras. I left the station. At 6 a.m., I stood in front of the McCall Foundation building downtown. Marble glass. Silver lettering. Built by my father. Now run by Cashin. The GPS coordinates from the envelope pointed here. Not some safe house. Not a dead drop. A boardroom. This wasn't a breadcrumb trail. It was bait. I pressed the call button. No answer. But the door clicked open. Someone had been watching. Inside was ice, glass floors, minimalist art, a silence that screamed. The security guard didn't look up from his tablet. Cashin's assistant, Nolan Vex, was waiting in the lobby. Always in navy. Always smug. "Ren," he smiled. "No appointment. I brought something your board might want to see." His eyes flicked to my pocket. Too quick. Too practiced. "Cashin's not in." "But someone is," I said. He didn't argue. He led me upstairs. The elevator doors closed like a coffin lid. "Family's not a matter of blood," Nolan said. "It's about access. You've been gone so long you've mistaken exclusion for conspiracy." I stared straight ahead. "You ever wonder why no one gave you a house?" Silence. "Because Elias didn't want you tied down." I turned my head. "Slow. What do you mean?" He didn't answer. Ding. 12th floor. We stepped out into a long corridor lined with security glass. Nolan gestured toward a conference room. Inside, Cashin. Alone. He stood when he saw me, but didn't smile. "Ren," he said. "You look like hell." I brought hell with me. I tossed the flash drive onto the table. He didn't flinch. Instead, he walked over to the minibar, poured whiskey into 2 tumblers. "No ice." "Dad always said," Cashin muttered, "the second you hold power, assume someone wants to take it." Cut the preamble. He handed me a glass. "You opened something that was never meant to see daylight." "What was Elias into?" He took a sip. Didn't answer. Then, "Do you know what a ghost protocol is?" "No." "It's what governments use when they want to bury something so deep, even history forgets." He pointed to the flash drive. "That isn't a trust fund. It's a kill list, a payout log, hidden projects, assassinations." "Why is my name on it?" "Because Elias signed over power of attorney before he died." That hit like a punch. "No, he didn't." Cashin's face didn't change. "But you did sign something. Remember? Last Thanksgiving. The settlement agreement to stop contesting the estate." My stomach dropped. "You tricked me into signing control over a black fund." "No," he said. "Elias made sure you were the only one he trusted with it." Cashin stepped closer. "But the moment you accessed it, the alarms went global. Every dead project, every buried operative, activated." "You're telling me I'm now the link between a billion-dollar program and a hit squad?" "No, I'm telling you." The wall behind us exploded. Glass shattered. Flashbang. Screams from the hallway. Nolan shouted something unintelligible. Smoke poured in. I hit the floor. Cashin dragged me behind the table. Gunfire from the lobby. Automatic. Too close. "Give them the drive." I yelled. "It's not about the drive." "Then what the hell do they want?" Cashin stared at me. "Proof you're alive." That's when I knew. They weren't after Elias's secrets. They were after mine. Smoke poured into the hallway. Sprinklers kicked on, mist turning to steam under the emergency strobes. Cashin yanked me to my feet, dragging me through the shattered glass door. "We can't stay here," he shouted. "No kidding." Gunfire tore through the walls again. Nolan screamed something behind us, then silence. A heavy kind of silence. We sprinted for the stairwell. Crash! A body tumbled down the steps ahead of us, one of the attackers. Neck twisted, eyes open. Cashin didn't react. He just stepped over him. "You do this every day?" I gasped. "Not usually before breakfast." We burst out the back exit into the alley. Sirens approached from the distance. Cashin shoved me toward his Range Rover. "Get in." I hesitated. 1 second. 2. "Ren, move." I jumped in. He peeled out onto the street. Tires screeching. Car fishtailing before gripping asphalt. What did you mean? I said, breathless. When you told me they only want proof I'm alive. Cashin didn't answer. I slammed my hand on the dashboard. Tell me. His jaw tightened. That account wasn't supposed to activate unless the designated proxy accessed it. He flicked his eyes toward me. That's you. Why me? Ask Elias. That's impossible. Then ask Mom. My stomach nodded. What does she know? He didn't answer again. Of course he didn't. People keep secrets the same way they keep weapons, always pointed away from themselves. Elias said that once too. We drove north, out of Marietta, into the Blue Ridge foothills. Highway turned to service road. Service road turned to dirt. GPS coordinates. The ones from the cemetery envelope. This is where it leads. I asked. Cashin nodded. The original vault. Lights appeared behind us. Far back. Getting closer. Faster, I said. He sped up. The SUV behind us sped up too. They're tracking the drive, Cashin muttered. It's broadcasting. No, I didn't. You didn't have to. It's programmed to. The road narrowed. Trees closing in. A sharp left. A half-collapsed chain-link fence ahead. Cashin didn't slow. He crashed straight through it. The car jolted. Metal screeched. The forest swallowed us. We skidded to a stop in front of a concrete bunker built into the hillside. No doors. Just a steel panel with a biometric scanner. Here, Cashin panted. This is what Elias died for. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to scream. Instead, I stepped toward the panel. Red light scanned my face. Then, green. A hiss. The slab of metal shifted, sliding open like a tomb. Cold air hit my skin. Inside, darkness. Then motion-activated lights, flickering to life. Rows of servers. Old models. New models. Stacked like ribs. A humming that sounded like breath. Cashin followed me in. The steel door began sliding shut behind us. What happens now? I asked. He stared at me. You tell me. You're the proxy. The screens lit up. Lines of code. Directives. Off-books transfers. Government seals unrecognizable to any public system. Farah limped in behind us. I hadn't heard her car. Hadn't heard her footsteps. How did you? Followed the convoy, she said. Took a back trail. Are you okay? No, she admitted. But we don't have time to unpack that. She pointed at the far wall. A terminal blinking. Plug it in. The flash drive. The one she risked her life for. My hand shook as I inserted it. The screens went black. Then, upload enabled. Confirm identity. Torrance, Elias McCall. Proxy authority, active. My lungs froze. Torrance Elias? I whispered. He gave me his middle name? Farah stared at me. He prepared you. Cashin swallowed. I saw the guilt. Saw it heavy in his throat. You weren't supposed to know, he said quietly. Mom told me he changed his will at the last minute. But she hid all the modifications. I blinked. Slow. Why? Because you're the fail-safe, Farah said. If the system fell into the wrong hands, Elias needed someone he trusted. Someone outside the chain. Me? He barely talked to me. Cashin turned to me. No, he talked to you more than anyone. You just didn't realize it was recruitment. The lights flickered. The bunker shook. Something slammed into the outside door. Then again. Farah drew her gun. They found us. More pounding. Dust fell from the ceiling. I placed my hand on the scanner. The system chimed. Backup satellite link established. Time 4:59. Utolat. I said, upload to where? Farah met my eyes. Every major outlet. Every intelligence, leak site. every congressional archive. Cashin's breath caught. You're going to expose the entire operation. No, Farah said. He is. The bunker lights died. Total blackness. Then red emergency glow. Shouts outside. Metal twisting. Boots pounding. Cashin grabbed my arm. Ren, he said, voice shaking. They're not here for the secrets. They're here for the proxy. The steel door buckled inward. And I knew. Upload complete or not. None of us were getting out clean. The blast didn't kill us. It should have. Maybe that was the point. The reinforced walls of the vault trembled, but held. Fire alarms blared, echoing like a war drum in my ears. Cashin shoved me behind a server stack, body shielding mine. Farah was already up, gun drawn, firing toward the opening where the metal door used to be. Shadows poured in. Black helmets, tinted visors, no insignia, not SWAT, not law enforcement, private. Cashin leapt out, took one down with a chokehold, grabbed his weapon, fired twice, then ducked again. They're not here to arrest, he hissed. They're here to erase. Us? I asked. He gave a single nod. And everything we know. I turned back to the terminal. 78% complete. Another shot rang out, this one close. Too close. Farah collapsed next to me, blood staining her shirt. No, I breathed. No, no, no. She coughed. Keep it up, loading. But don't waste it. I didn't survive 2 tours to die for nothing. Her eyes closed, breath shallow. Another detonation rocked the bunker. Cashin yanked open a panel under the terminal. Backup cable. Satellite uplink. Even if we die, he said, this story won't. That's when I made the call. Not 911. Not the police. I called Dana Pressman. Investigative journalist. Ruthless. Unrelenting. Unafraid. You better be calling me with something worth dying for, she said the moment she answered. I've got proof of a slush fund tied to the federal treasury. Black ledger accounts. Offshore transfers. A proxy system set up under Torrance Elias McCall. And a $1.2 billion identity laundering loop. Silence. Then where are you? I rattled off the coordinates. We don't have long, I said. You don't need long, she said. You need one headline. When the lights finally cut out, the upload read 100%. Seconds later, the generator failed. Darkness again. Cashin slumped next to me, arm bleeding, lips cracked. Rin, he whispered, this isn't just about inheritance. I know. It never was. Voices outside. English. Russian. A third language I couldn't place. Then, silence. I woke up in a hospital bed. Cashin next to me. Both of us cuffed. Guards at the door. Farah didn't make it, but the drive did. Dana Pressman released the first expose at 6 a.m. By 10, AMC executives were resigning. At noon, the Treasury Department held a press conference. By sundown, it was everywhere. CNN, Reuters, BBC. The leak cracked open something no one could control anymore. Congress demanded hearings. Whistleblowers came forward. And me? I was still in custody. The cost of exposure is never clean. 3 weeks later, they cut a deal. No charges, no prison time, but also no inheritance. The money was seized, reallocated, reabsorbed. The house my brother got? Confiscated in a seizure. My mom? She denied everything. Claimed she was just a grieving widow. Claimed Cashin manipulated her. And maybe she believed that lie so hard it became real. We all survive by rewriting truth until it feels bearable. But truth doesn't bend forever. It cracks. Months passed. Then one day a letter arrived. No return address. No stamp. Inside a single flash drive. And a note. Proxy protocols are never deactivated. They're inherited. I plugged it in. A new set of files. New directives. One labeled, the next phase. I should have destroyed it. I didn't, because I finally understood what Elias meant when he told me, the only real power is what you're willing to lose to keep it. I lost my family, my safety, my ignorance, but I kept my name. And somewhere buried under the wreckage, we found the truth. Not because it was easy, but because it was time.